The war that never truly ended. 1 in 3 bombs dropped on Vietnam never detonated. Today, they sit beneath rice paddies, farmland, and schoolyards, waiting. Every morning, millions have no choice but to walk directly over them. In Ha Giang province, a farmer rises before dawn and walks into his fields, each step a silent calculation. In 2019, a misjudged swing of his hoe uncovered a buried cluster bomblet, ending the planting season in a flash and costing him his leg. He still remembers the sound, metal against metal, then the world collapsing inward. Today, he navigates narrow terraces with a prosthetic limb, his family's harvest cut in half, trapped by medical bills and fear. Across Vietnam, this is not an isolated story. The Ministry of National Defense's danger zone map shows 5.6 million hectares, almost a fifth of the country, still contaminated. These are not remote battlefields, but rice paddies, grazing land, and village footpaths. Children walk to school along marked boundaries, and parents warn them to avoid patches of earth that look disturbed. For millions, the war never left. It lingers underfoot, shaping every decision, every day. Between 1965 and 1975, the United States and its allies dropped 7.662 million tons of bombs across Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia, more than 3 times the tonnage used in all theaters of World War II. The bombardment reached its peak in 1968, with 1.43 million tons falling in a single year. Each bombing run left behind more than just craters. It scattered millions of explosive devices across farmland, riverbanks, and villages. The technology of the era was far from perfect. About 30 to 33% of these munitions failed to explode on impact, their fuses jammed by mud, rain, or faulty design. Cluster bombs, in particular, released hundreds of small bomblets at a time, many of which now lie hidden just beneath the surface. Decades of monsoon rains and shifting soil have buried these duds deeper or washed them into new areas, making detection and removal a constant challenge. The result is a vast, invisible minefield. Millions of live explosives still scattered across nearly 1/5 of the country, waiting for an accidental trigger. Every year, about 1,200 people in Vietnam are injured by unexploded bombs and landmines, nearly half of them children. For families in contaminated regions, the risk is woven into daily life. A child may lose a hand while playing near a stream. A mother may spend years tending to a son whose legs were destroyed in the fields. The aftermath is not just physical pain, but a heavy financial blow. Direct medical costs for a single injury range from $7,500 to $15,000, often equal to several years of household income. These expenses force families to sell livestock or borrow money they cannot repay, trapping them in poverty. School fees go unpaid. Fields lie fallow because no one is strong enough to work them. In many cases, children must leave school to care for injured parents or siblings. The scars reach beyond the wounded, reshaping entire households and echoing through generations. In Dak Lak province, a group of scrap metal collectors gathered around the rusted shell of an old aerial bomb, hoping to salvage copper wiring. The explosion that followed killed 2 people and left 3 others with life-altering injuries. Despite the horror, scenes like this play out every year across Vietnam's countryside. For many, scavenging bomb fragments is not a choice, but a last resort. On average, a collector earns about $1,200 a year. barely enough to keep a family afloat in rural districts where jobs are scarce and farmland is often off-limits. Peace Trees surveys reveal that nearly a quarter of these collectors have already survived at least one unexploded ordnance accident, yet most return to the fields. The economic math is stark. Each fatality costs society roughly $300,000 in lost productivity, medical care, and support for grieving families. The profit is meager, but the risk is immense. Still, poverty pushes more people into this deadly trade, trapping entire communities in a cycle where survival means gambling with hidden explosives. The cost of removing Vietnam's hidden bombs is staggering: $10 billion to clear the land, yet only $120 million arrives each year. At this pace, just 5% of contaminated ground has been made safe. In Quang Tri, a 12-woman bomb disposal squad starts each morning with a briefing and a silent head count, knowing the risks. Their work is relentless. 600 hectares were cleared last year, but dark zones stretch for miles. Turnover is high. 3 out of every 10 leave within a year, worn down by the strain. The commander's voice is steady but tired. "We do what we can, but the bombs outnumber us." Vietnam's strategy now reaches into classrooms and the sky. Since 2016, bomb safety lessons in schools have led to a 35% drop in accidents among students where the program runs. New drone-mounted sensors tested in Quang Tri find buried explosives 40% faster than before. If current efforts hold, estimates suggest the most dangerous land could be cleared by 2050. For families like the farmers, that means safer fields and a projected $150 million boost in rice harvests each year. For millions here, the war still waits beneath their feet. Every field worked, every path walked, carries unseen risk. Until every hidden threat is cleared, peace remains unfinished. The mines in the jungle are the invisible scars of a war that refused to end. But to truly understand why these traps were set in the first place, you have to see the moment the conflict ignited, and the untold truth of how America was drawn into the jungle. Watch the beginning of the nightmare right here.